Hello, and welcome once again to the weekly update Patreon video. I, as you hopefully know by now, am Professor Moptop. Welcome everyone, thank you as always. Happy new month. Actually, last week was the new month. Happy second week of new month. As I continue to make progress here on Volume 3, I keep chugging along slowly and meticulously. Right now I'm going through the music of 1965. There's a lot of great music in 1965. I've been categorizing it. Is that the word? Categorizing? I think I said it right. Putting them into columns and then discussing each individual act. Not each one, but many of the more important ones that had a lot to do with the Beatles. The British Invasion is at the top of the list. Of course, bands like the Stones, the Kinks, the Yardbirds, and Herman's Hermits, well, they played a pretty big factor in music and the whole landscape of 1965, not just in England, but all over the world. Of course, this was all centered around the Beatles, but there's a lot of Bob Dylan talk throughout the book as well. In America, there was a certain pop music, and there was a certain soul music, and there was, of course, the Motown sound. All of this will be greatly detailed in Volume 3 sometime next year. There's also the cool folk movement, which I've really been enjoying learning about. There's a lot to know, and if you don't know anything about it, well, it's all brand new. This week, in your mail, you should be expecting a 4-pack. That's right, we have a special 4-pack this week, all about the Beatles and their experience in India just before the White Album. In early 1968, the four Beatles traveled to India to meditate with Maharishi. We hear a little bit of the background, how George was first introduced to the sitar in 1965 during the Help movie. He met a couple people from the Asian music circle of London. He got turned on to and then got to meet Ravi Shankar. He had a sitar on Norwegian wood. And then later in 1967, Patty Boyd read an article about the Maharishi having a seminar up in Wales. The four Beatles traveled up there. Sadly, while they were up there for this seminar was when they got the news that Brian Epstein had died. They had to come back to England and basically get back to work. They worked on the Magical Mystery Tour. They recorded some songs to have while they were gone in India. That would be Hey Jude, Revolution, Lady Madonna, and The Inner Light. In early 1968 was when they traveled for an extended meditation retreat. Some of the people that were with them were Donovan, he was a friend of theirs, Mia, Johnny, and Prudence Farrow were there. Jane Asher was there, Neil Aspinall was there, Ringo Starr and his wife Maureen were there. They had a newborn baby, and they weren't really digging it. They were the first ones to go home. Paul McCartney and his girlfriend, Jane Asher, left after that. Shortly after that, there were some questionable circumstances that happened. You'll hear Professor Moptop talking all about those. You'll also hear about Richard Cook III. He was a hunter. He's better known as Bungalow Bill. You get to hear about Magic Alex, who was quite the character in his own right. You also get to hear about the origins of the song Sexy Sadie and something about Apple Records. It's all a little bit like a soap opera, but in fact, it really happened to the Beatles in 1968. After they were all done with this, they got back to England and they recorded an album that you might know. It's called The White Album. There's a lot of cool information. Expect an invite from WeTransfer sometime by the end of the day on August 10th. That is today. Make sure that you download these WeTransfers. After a while, they expire. And if they do expire and you need me to resend them, I will gladly resend them. Thank you so much, as always, for your support. And I can't say thank you enough. I'm going to get to work now. I'm going to email some stuff out. And then I'm going to start listening to 1965 in music in great detail. Also, I'm going to wait for Honey Pie to get out of the camera before I say goodbye, and thank you so much. I am Professor Moptop.